This is Rosen Institute's Your Law Firm, where Lee Rosen and Ned Days cover management, marketing, finance, and new technologies for building the practice you deserve. Rosen Institute members received this episode early, as well as exclusive segments on handling employee expense reimbursements, an answer to a member question about expanding your practice into a related market, as well as sessions from our systems program all about building processes in your firm. Get access to everything you're missing at roseninstitute.com/join. Here's Lee Rosen.
It's good to be with you today from Amsterdam in the Netherlands, where we are checking out the tulips. This is the tulip season, and I have to say that I have never seen so many tulips in my entire life. And it's more than just the raw numbers of tulips. The varieties, they are absolutely incredible. The different colors and the combinations of colors, they are incredible. This is science come to life and turned into art. And I can't say that I'm really a flower guy, but it is absolutely impossible not to be impressed by what these folks are doing with flowers. It is pretty amazing.
It's time for your tech tip. You know that I am a hopeless romantic at heart, and the object of my affections, the thing for which I will always keep a candle burning, is the web page. Just like generations before have a sentimental attachment to drive-in movie theaters or that game where you roll a hoop with a stick because TV hadn't been invented yet, I came of age when the World Wide Web was still like the Wild West, and websites were weird, wonderful, and a little bit frightening. But alas, we do not have time for those frivolities now. Today, we use the internet to make FaceTime calls while we are in the checkout line at the grocery store, and scroll TikTok while we are doing 75 miles per hour in a school zone. The website isn't necessarily the business-building mainstay it used to be. There are still plenty of firms bringing in lots of business off of their websites and doing interesting things on their pages, but we have come to expect that in most cases, we have to engage people where they are on other platforms. In fact, as much as it pains me to do so these days, I find myself more often than not encouraging people to worry a little bit less about their websites. For a lot of practices, they have become commodities, business cards on the web that act as a place to verify we exist, get some contact details, or simply serve as a repository for resources that are hosted in one of the big social media walled gardens that have become increasingly crucial to the way a lot of firms draw in clients. But we still need web pages, and even simple site builders can take a while to wrap your head around. Trying to find a decent theme and a designer can chew up a lot of time and energy. But as with a lot of tools, AI is making it increasingly viable to go from zero to functional website in an afternoon, if not a matter of minutes, with no coding or design knowledge required. One of the first major players here, and still a decent option, is the AI builder on the Wix web hosting platform. You start out with a chat questionnaire to build a dossier about your practice, what kind of functionality you want, the design, things like that. You can stop at any time and tell it to start building. It will create a draft and give you some more traditional controls to revise specifics like your site name, description, contact information, and logo. You also get some checkboxes to turn certain tabs or pages that it's created on or off. Definitely more convenient than having to type out every change to the chatbot. You will have to have a chat to make design changes, adjusting colors, typefaces, layout. That is all going to be a discussion with your new website building buddy. This does present a few challenges. If you don't quite know how to describe what it is you want, you are going to spend a lot of time having it generate essentially random new elements and then picking the ones you like. You can give it a fairly detailed set of instructions on how you want things to behave and look, but if you knew that already, you may have gone with a more traditional builder anyway. And it takes time to update the layouts and switch between the various versions of the page you create. It's not a super quick experience. So the question becomes, are you better off selecting one of the templates that Wix makes available that have been designed as a cohesive whole from the get-go, and then just making a few tweaks instead of wrestling with the AI to create something from scratch that may or may not have that same level of design panache? The AI creation tool is included in all of Wix's paid plans, which start at $17 per month. Ready.ai is another interesting option. I'm going to spell that one for you. It's READDY.ai. I assume the extra D is because it is extra delightful to use, or maybe the proper spelling was already taken. We may never know. You start with a prompt as well as the ability to upload a reference image like a screenshot of another website that you liked, and you are presented with some controls for picking whether the color scheme should be light or dark, the primary color, and a few other options. Once you let it rip, Ready gives you a text outline of the content it is going to generate for that page. You generate each page individually. You can then make revisions by asking it, and once you are happy, you can tell it to generate the web page. It will give you a couple of options based on your prompt. You can then pick the best one and start revising. You can give Ready commands to update just about anything, to add animations, update content. It is pretty fully featured, and it's kind of amazing what you can ask it to do. There's also a very nice quick edit feature. You select a portion of the page you want to edit, and then your next prompt will apply only to that section. Incredibly handy for making fine-grained changes without having to be super specific about what it should and shouldn't change. You have some basic image tools for adding your own images, using AI to update the images or remove the background, and generate images and video entirely using AI. Ready has a free tier that allows you to have up to 2 projects and export the code of your website to host it wherever you would like. There are paid options at $20 and $40 per month that include hosting, using a custom domain, removal of the Ready logo, lead collection, and more. They also include a lot more AI credits. The free plan includes 100 per month. The paid plans have 5,000 and 11,000 per month. Credits are the AI design currency Ready uses. Each new AI design generation costs 50 credits and contains 2 design options. If you want to edit an existing design, each AI-powered edit costs 10 credits. So especially when you are initially building the site, you are going to eat through the 100 credits on the free plan pretty quickly. But Ned, you say, I am not just here to put my smiling face and phone number on the web. I am here to change the legal landscape forever. Well, there are more and more tools showing up that let you build fully fledged web applications with AI. EasySite.ai goes beyond just web pages and is geared toward building web apps and platforms. It is not for the faint of heart. While it is technically a no-code tool, it's generating a lot of fairly complex code that you can edit if you want, and if you don't really know how it works, directing the AI to make changes and fix things can lead to errors and bugs that you won't really know how to handle. But it includes a basic CRM functionality to allow you to create apps, web forms, dashboards, landing pages, regular old websites, and a lot more just by prompting. Overkill for your basic business card site, but if you like to live on the edge and want to experiment with building tools, calculators, and other apps for clients and potential clients, EasySite.ai is worth investigating. Its plans start at $10 a month. That includes hosting a custom domain, basic AI models that can be incorporated into the apps you build, 30,000 CRM records, and a lot more. But as you may have guessed, there is also a credit system, so you will likely be paying a bit more than that, at least in the building and revising phase. I'm Ned Days, and that's your tech tip.
And now for your moment of concise advice. There was a time when I felt like a hostage in my own law firm. One of our team members, a solid guy on paper, decent at his job, but he had somehow convinced me that he was irreplaceable. Every time I raised expectations for him or I pushed for more from him, he would remind me subtly or directly how hard it was going to be to replace him. And he was not wrong, because I was not recruiting. I was spending my time and my energy reacting to this guy, to this situation of being held hostage. Recruiting, you see, that was something that I only did when the situation was on fire. When someone quit, when someone crashed, when someone gave notice, and suddenly I was sprinting into the recruiting marketplace. I was desperate, looking under rocks, praying that someone decent would show up. And that approach that I took, that recruit only at the last minute approach, that's how you end up stuck. That's how someone mediocre ends up running your law firm, and how you end up being held hostage in the business that you own. Well, here's what I learned the hard way. Recruiting is not something that you do when you need a body. It's something that you do every single day. It's just like sales. It's just like marketing. It's just like one-on-one meetings with your team. Recruiting is essential. It is the lifeblood of the business. Recruiting is a pipeline. It's a process. It's a system. You've just got to do it. You've got to have a system. You check your numbers. How many candidates are in the funnel? How many resumes did you scan this week? Who's moving forward to the interviews? Who are you keeping warm with periodic check-ins because the timing isn't right just yet? And you approach this system, this process with creativity. You attract attention. You make your firm appealing. You get people interested, and then you keep them interested. So you always have somebody when you need somebody. And as your law firm grows, this system, this recruiting process, it grows too. Eventually, you hire people to manage it, just like you would with sales or with operations. You build this line outside the door of your business, a line so long that it just doesn't matter if one of your employees leaves. You build a line outside the door, around the block. You've got people that are desperate to work for you. The line is so long that it just doesn't matter who leaves or when they leave, because you've got options. And having those options, that means you've got leverage. Options mean peace of mind. Options mean no more making decisions out of fear. Options mean no more being held hostage. Options like that give you such a sense of control, such a sense of relief. You stop thinking in terms of filling positions. That's old school, that's static, that's limiting. The position isn't the point. The talent is. Sometimes you add people, sometimes you upgrade people, sometimes you quietly transition someone out because someone better has entered your orbit. And guess what? When you keep raising the level of talent in your law firm, the caliber of your clients goes right up alongside it. It's not magic, it's cause and effect. More skill in-house means you solve harder problems, you attract higher value clients. That's the game that we play. So let go of the idea that you're hiring for fixed roles. Your org chart, it can be fluid. The roles evolve, the people evolve. Hopefully the whole business keeps trending up. You're not just building a team, you're building a magnet for excellence. You're drawing in the right clients to match up with the right team. And excellence, it shows up when you make room for it, when you make space for it, when you're always looking, always moving the agenda forward, always talking to people who might be a fit inside your law firm. You would never think to turn your marketing on and off depending on how many leads you had last week. Don't do that with recruiting. Recruit daily, just one small move each and every day. Send an outreach message, or scan 10 resumes, or have coffee with an employee referral source, or drop a post on LinkedIn about the culture of your law firm. It doesn't matter how small. Just move the recruiting agenda forward one step at a time, one day at a time, because when you do that consistently, you never get blindsided, you never get stuck, you never feel trapped, you are never held hostage. You have a bench, you have momentum, you have power. And most importantly, you have calm confidence, because you know that no matter what happens, someone great is already waiting in the wings. That's your moment of concise advice. Wrapping up from Amsterdam, thanks for spending a few minutes with me and Ned today. We hope you have a great weekend and an even better week next week. Keep plugging away, moving forward, and getting things done. You're on the right track. You'll get there, I promise. We're all in this together, and together we build better practices through better marketing, better management, and better technology. Until next time, I'm Lee Rosen.
Thanks for listening to Your Law Firm. Subscribe to the Friday File at roseninstitute.com and join thousands of lawyers focused on working on, instead of in, their practices. You'll find safe, successful, actionable approaches for transforming your firm. Sign up for free at roseninstitute.com.